Hi, welcome back to Hacks, Skills, and Mods. Today, we're going to be working on a skill. The skill is firewood. Uh, Firewood is absolutely the best heat, second to none. Um, there is a process to it, there's a lot of tricks to it. It's not the simple, um, brutal, I guess for lack of a better word, process of just muscling and beating the crap out of stuff. There is actually a science and a process to it. So I'm going to try to do that in detail. Forgive me, I've been doing this a long time. It's kind of like growing up in a town. You don't know the names of the roads, but you know where everything is. There may be some things that I forget to tell you that I just do second nature. It's just like breathing. So if you have a question, I'll be happy to answer it. Just contact me. Uh, anyway, let's get started. Of course, a good chainsaw. Husqvarna is good, really good. Skill's the thing to beat right now. I'd just a good chainsaw. You can pick up a good chainsaw at a pawn shop for about $125 to $250 in good running order. You need something to pull with. A couple different ways to get firewood. You can go where somebody's cutting timber, and you can get what's called tree laps, which is the branches they cut off and the tops out of them. Because when people are cutting timber, all they want is the main stalk, if it's good and straight. So the trees they cut that aren't good and straight, the trees they cut that split, the tops they cut out, the limbs they cut off, that's all fair game. And it's fine firewood. Sometimes, well, most of the time, there's more knots in this type of wood and splits and crotches and stuff like that that people tend to shy away from because it makes it harder to split. Uh, there are tricks to this. I'll show you those. Anyway, some other things you're going to need. You're going to need a good busting maul. Wood splitters are really slow. If you're in physical condition, a maul is going to be a lot faster. It's going to do you a better job. This one is called a trumper. That is the brand name. It is not a political statement. You better be in pretty good shape to swing this. The head on this weighs 15 pounds. The handle is steel welded in with another steel pipe welded in over it as reinforcement. This is the best maul I've ever owned, and I've owned a few. They come in 6, 8 pound, maybe 10 and 12. That one is 15. The heavier it is, the better it's going to split. It takes a lot of the work out of it. It does take some work to swing the thing, but it takes a lot of the work having to swing it a bunch of times because it's so heavy. It just passes right through the wood if you know how to hit it. But we'll get to that. You need something to pull with. Nylon strap is good. It's lightweight and strong. The only real downfall is sharp edges cut it. Not too much to worry about in the wood, the firewood end of it, but sharp edges like on your truck, your frame, whatever. You need something to haul it in. A good trailer or pickup truck. You don't want to use anything nice because you're going to be out here in the woods, scratching, denting, throwing wood, things like that. You're going to dent it up. So you don't want to use anything that's super nice. Pickup bed trailers work really good. This one's a Nissan. I've had it for several years. It's worked fine for me. You can do what a friend of mine calls a bootleg truck, which is you take coil springs and you mount them on the axles, between the axle and the frame where the buggy bumpers are. And that gives it a little more support when you get a load on it. It keeps it from wagging going down the road. You keep it from sagging so bad under a load. Earmuffs, fair warning. When I start this saw, it is loud. Bought it at a pawn shop. Some inbred punched the muffler out of it. It's loud. Anyway, forewarn, when I start the chainsaw, you might want to turn your volume down. A chain is a good idea. It's just a fail-safe if the strap doesn't work or for whatever reason the chain is working better. I usually bring a few tools to keep my chainsaw running. I've got a screwdriver in there and an adjustment tool for the carburetor. Wrenches to adjust the chain. It's a good idea to have more than one chain. It's a good idea to have more than one saw, but that gets expensive quick. If you've got more than one chain and you can't sharpen the chain, you can take them and have them sharpened, and when you dull one, you just switch them out. It takes 5 minutes to switch a chain out. If you can sharpen one, good files are hard to come by nowadays. Most people use the electric sharpeners. So if you can get one of those, keep your chains sharp, just bring the chains to the wood with you, and you can change them out when you need to. That's a lot less downtime than sitting there filing on a saw. So what else we got? Of course, extra 2-stroke gas to keep your saw running. Bar and chain oil. I brought a weed eater this time because out here in the woods, these trees have been down for a while. This gentleman gave me permission to cut up these tree laps where he had timber logged, and it's been here a few years, so it's kind of grown up. So that's what the weed eater, and I have a cutting blade on it that cuts down these saplings and stuff and gets them away. Watch out for snakes. You know, it's still green out here. Snakes are still crawling. So people have standing dead wood, and that's the best firewood. You want dry wood. You want dry wood to cut for firewood. Green wood is really hard to burn. You have to keep a rolling fire going to keep it going. You can't let it smother down or smolder, which is what you need sometimes to smother down and smolder. Standing dead timber is dry, but it's not been laying on the ground soaking up moisture, and moisture causes wood to rot. Water causes wood to rot. If wood stays dry, wood never rots. While I'm thinking of it, people have said to me in the past, oh, I don't want firewood close to my house because of termites. Okay, first and foremost, you use hardwood, oak, hickory, maple, any variations of those breed are what you use for firewood. Termites eat cellulose, which is in pine. It is not in hardwoods. Termites do not eat hardwood. So having firewood close to your house does not attract termites. They don't feed on it. They don't live in it. Consequently, if you know somebody that has a sawmill, can find one, and you're building a house, if you build that house out of hardwood, you don't have to worry about termites ever. As long as you build it, all the wood is hardwood. You don't ever have to worry about termites. So, anyway, I'm going to show you how to cut these up safely, not without getting hit by a tree. Some of these limbs can weigh several hundred pounds, and if they fall on you or catch and spin or go sideways instead of straight down, they can seriously injure you. So you have to be careful about doing some things like that. You don't want to use green wood because green wood, it doesn't burn right, like I said, but it also creates a lot of creosote in your chimney. People talk about chimney fires. Chimney fires, if there's no fuel, you can't have a fire. Your fire triangle, you have fuel, oxygen, or air, and ignition spark. So if you take away any one of those three things, you don't have fire. When you have creosote built up in your chimney, that is fuel. It will burn. That's how chimney fires get started. People have a low smoldering fire, which has not a very high temperature in the chimney, and it causes the creosote to build up. And then all of a sudden it gets cold, and they open the stove up and build this big roaring fire, and the flame from the fire draws up into the chimney, and it catches the creosote on fire, and that's where you get a chimney fire. Okay, first and foremost, keep your chimney clean. You can open your stove up every morning if you have to open the doors and windows because it's too hot. Every morning, open your stove up and let it burn hard for about an hour, half an hour to an hour, and keep that burn out. Keep an eye on it. The best way to, if it happens to catch on fire in the chimney, shut the air off to it. If you turn a water hose down inside a burning chimney, you're going to flush a lot of crap out in your house. You're going to cause steam. Steam burns are bad burns. There have been cases where the chimney was burning so hot when somebody turned water in on it, like a mist of water in on it, the steam actually exploded, and you had a really, really bad problem on their hands. So just cut the air off to it. If it doesn't have air, it can't burn. It'll smother out and go out. Make sure your chimney's in good working order. What else about chimneys? Just keep the creosote out. You can get a brush, and you can get links to screw together as a handle to make it longer. brush your chimney out, and that's a good way to take care of that. As long as there's no fuel in the chimney, you can't have a chimney fire. So, anyway, that's all I can think of as basics right now. If I think of anything else later, I'll bring it up. Any questions or comments, I'll be happy to discuss, answer, whatever the case needs to be. So remember, the chainsaw's really loud, so when I start this thing up, you might want to have your volume turned down.